meantime, we have talked with Monpreet Kaur. She is one of three candidates running for the seat being left vacant by Chris Parlier, the 7th Ward. Now we talk with a second of the three candidates, Tim Collins. Tim, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be on here.
Let's begin as we do with all of our political candidates. Why the Sam Hilley running for city council?
Sure. So I'm born and raised down in Ward 7 of Bakersfield. So I lived in this city all my life, and I just really love it here. I've grown to love it over the 28 years I've spent here. Been getting involved with a lot of things locally in regards to politics. Been with the Young Republicans for 5 years and the vice chair of them now. So just been getting also involved with the Farm Bureau. I'm the chair of the Young Farmers and Ranchers, so on their board. And all these kind of things building up, just a love for Bakersfield and my community. And when I saw that Chris Parlier was not running and that it was an open seat, and I didn't see anybody that I felt like would represent me and the ward well, I took the opportunity upon myself and jumped into the race. And I'm looking forward to being part of the city council and representing Bakersfield.
Is politics something you've always wanted to get into?
It's something I've always been interested in, but not something that I've seen myself getting into. But I've always wanted to serve the community, and I don't know of a better way to do that than to start getting involved with the city council like this race.
Where'd you go to high school? Where'd you go to college? What'd you study? And what are you doing professionally?
Yeah, so I grew up, like I said, down in Ward 7, so I went to Ridgeview High School. And while I was in high school, I took the Ag Mechanics program at the Regional Occupational Center, which is part of the current high school district. And that's what got me into diesel mechanics. I ended up doing a training program with Caterpillar through the Quinn dealership here in town. They sent me up to school on and off for a couple years through their training program up in Stockton. But I was hired on in Bakersfield and working here full-time while I wasn't in school for them. Spent another, 6 years total working for them, most of that as a field mechanic. So I was driving out all over the county, fixing tractors wherever they broke down. So a lot of farm tractors, construction equipment on the roads, even some mining equipment at cement plants. And just got to really see all of Kern County and get to know the community here a lot more through doing that.
Yeah. So it's a trade school? You didn't go to college?
It was a trade school program in college. So I did get associate's degree through that program. And Quinn paid for it. It's part of their priority in just hiring mechanics and training them up. That
nice.
They take that kind of investment in their mechanics.
Nice. But you don't have a 4-year degree?
No, I do not.
How old are you?
I am 28.
Wow. Do you have a family?
I have a lot of family, but I don't have my own family, I guess.
You're
you
not
could
married?
say.
No
Yeah,
kids?
I'm not married now. I have parents and brothers and sisters that live here and have families, and a really good community there.
What are the issues in the 7th Ward? What do you want to get done?
Yeah, so I think the big priorities for us are similar to other parts of the city, but crime, so being pro-law enforcement, making sure the city council supports whatever we can do for the police department. So crime's been an issue down there. Other priority would be focusing on being pro jobs, supporting our local industries like the oil industry, the ag industry, which I've been involved in, and then and training up those jobs. Which, to continue on from the previous question, I'm actually teaching ag diesel mechanics class at ROC now, which is the one I took in high school. And I'm on my 4th year doing that now. But then lastly, other priority would be making sure the city does a good job in keeping the streets clean and well maintained, that they're not dirty, we don't have trash there, that people can feel safe going around their communities, whether that's walking around their neighborhoods, going to their parks, or even just driving on nice, smooth roads.
Yeah. The homeless situation is a priority for you, and how do you help clean up this city?
Yeah, so of course that's a big priority, and so many people I talk to all over town and in Ward 7 as well have issues with homelessness, and especially with the criminal homelessness that end up causing real problems for them, whether it's, they can't go to their business or eat outside or something without homeless people harassing them or being around and always having that kind of threat over them. So it's a huge problem that needs to be addressed. It really brings down the neighborhood. It's not good for those people themselves that are living on the streets to leave them out there like that. And I think we're handicapped a little bit by Sacramento, but we need to make sure that we do everything at the city council level, and I think that should be one of the biggest priorities of the council, and I think that goes along with law enforcement, is being able to make sure we're doing the job. If these people are committing crimes, then they need to be prosecuted for that, and we need to have the resources available to deal with them appropriately.
Yeah. Talking with Tim Collins, he's one of 3 candidates running for the 7th Ward seat being left open by Chris Parlier. What's your take on city leadership? What's your take on city council? For example, what did you think of Measure N?
Yeah, so for Measure N, well, so it passed with
Did you vote for it?
I did not, no. It passed for a very, very slim majority, as you know, and it's been really controversial. Personally, my political philosophy is what plays into my view of it. I'm a fiscal conservative, so I don't want to be taking any more money than necessary from the people of Bakersfield. And the government, of course, likes it because they get another, $74 million, I think they said, for the first year is what ended up happening. So of course they like that and can, give that money out to their programs. And but that money didn't come from anywhere or from nowhere. Rather, it came from the taxpayer. So that's millions of dollars less in the taxpayer's pocket that they could spend better than the government, right? If people thought the government could spend their money better than them, then you wouldn't have to force people to pay taxes. So,
And what's your take on city leadership and the city council as a whole?
Sure. So I've talked to most of the council members and met Chris Parlier a couple times over the years and been pretty happy with a lot of the work that he's done in supporting things. I think the city council overall has done a good job of trying to keep Bakersfield affordable. There's a reason that people can still get good jobs here and be able to support families and buy houses that you can't do in most other cities, or at least a lot of other cities in California. So I think they've had good leadership and have been doing a good job investing in some of the things to try to also make Bakersfield a little bit more vibrant and attractive for people. So I want to try to continue that good leadership.
I would vehemently disagree with you, but that is your opinion, and you're allowed to have it.
Sure.
I'm running out of time. I got to let you go. But if I could give you a wand and correct something in the 7th Ward, what would it be?
Sure. So I think just a lot of the issues that I've already mentioned. The 7th Ward's not...
One thing if you could correct. Just one wand, you could wham, boom, this is different. What would it be?
Sure. Just making everything safe and not having to worry about crime. I think everybody that lives down there has that same priority, whatever group they're a part of or anything. Everybody needs safety and security in their houses, and that's what's going to lead to prosperity across the ward. And I think that's what should be the primary goal of government and of the city council.
Final, as we do with all of our candidates, give you one last opportunity to tell our listeners why they should vote for Tim Collins.
Yeah, so I think my just political philosophy, like I've mentioned, and being a conservative is what's best for the government. I have endorsements from Kevin McCarthy, from Shannon Grove, and from Vince Vaughn now, and a lot of good friends that own businesses here behind me as well. So I think if you look at the people supporting and endorsing the different candidates in this race, you'll see a pretty distinct disparity on philosophy and what we support.
You have the full brunt of the Kathy Abernathy team behind you. There's no question about that. Tim, as we say to all of our candidates, good luck. Thanks for coming in, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me on here, Ralph.
Tim Collins, one of 3 candidates running for the 7th Ward district seat, being left